Das tut mir leid, dass ich muss in Englisch sprechen. Mein Deutsch ist nicht so gut. Ich komme aus Kalifornien. Hoffentlich I bring California sunshine. Perfectly. To the Museum of Charlottenburg-Wilmersdorf, the Universität der Kunst Berlin, to Alexander Yerkel, and everyone I don't know who helped on this. Thank you for making this exhibit possible, especially to Elizabeth Weber and Professor Christoph Kreutzmüller. Thank you, thank you, thank you. As the grandson of Karl Kutschera, from one of Berlin's Jewish families, I am grateful that you are looking back without blindfolds on the lives of my family and other Jewish families who both prospered here and suffered greatly here. Though I have lived most of my life in California, I first came to Berlin in 1950 with my mother and father just after my grandfather Karl Kutschera died. I was 3 years old, and that was my first introduction to the Kudamm, to Café Wien, and to my family's history. About 15 years ago, I wanted to write the story of the Kutschera family, and I did a lot of research and never finished it. I thought it would all be lost. Imagine my surprise when I discovered on the internet that at Alexander Humboldt Universität they had produced an exhibit on the Jews of Berlin and included my Kutschera family without any knowledge of me or any of the work I had done. So I must truly thank Professor Christoph Kreutzmüller for his vision and Elizabeth Weber, who somehow discovered and uncovered all of much of my family's story and the research that brings it to life once again. And now Alexander Yerkel, who has taken it and so wonderfully put the Kutscheras back on the Kudamm, at least temporarily. Thank you very much. My grandfather, Karl Kutschera, was born in Slovakia. His wife, Josephine Pippi Kutschera, was born in Vienna. But for most of their lives, Berlin and the Kurfürstendamm was both their business and their creative home. They believed in the Berliner spirit, das Berliner Geist. They had it in them. They gave very much to it, and it gave so much to them and took away so much as well. But unlike many Jewish families, their story did not end here by 1945. It was one thing to believe in Berlin before 1933, but it's quite another story as what happened to them to return again in 1945 and somehow overcome the bitterness and the belief and make the belief that Berlin could become great again in the best ways that Berlin was great. My father, Gunther Kutschera, who left for America in 1938, never could understand how his father and Stiefmutter could remain here after 1945, after losing their children, their families, their properties, and then come back and throw themselves into rebuilding the city and the street. But one thing stopped my father from being filled with hatred and bitterness, and that was friendship. When we came back to Berlin in 1950, my father again met an old friend that he had went to school with. They had played music together. The friend's name was Heinz Grunau. Heinz had been sent to fight for Germany as a German soldier. My father in America had been an American soldier during the war. But once again, meeting in Berlin, they became best friends and remained so for the rest of their lives. And in 1950, when I was 3, I met Heinz's young son, Jochen Grunau. Jochen, come here, please. And we and our families, Jochen, his wife, Elke, and his daughter, have remained friends for all of our lives. This is now 3 generations of Jewish and German Berliners who have remained friends before and after Hitler. Hitler did not succeed.
No.
And I'm very proud also to have here today with us part of our Berlin legacy, Uli Buchholz, whose father, come on up here, Uli, please. Uli's father was Bernhard Buchholz. He became the head gardener at the Kutscheras farm out in Kladau, maybe 1934? 34. And worked up until the Kutscheras were forced out. And after the war, my Großstiefmutter, Josephine Kutschera, found him again and brought him back to the Kutschera farm to build it up once again. Uli's father kept the tradition alive in Haus Wien that as much of the food and drink and flowers as possible were produced in the restaurant itself with his own hands. I also have here my dear friend Inga Roberts, who from Glienicke I met, and she has helped me discover many of the people who knew the Kutscheras and led me around Berlin and helped me interview them. We also have here Götz Hildebrand. I have not seen since I was 17 years old in 1964. He is the son of my Stiefgroßmutter's second husband, Paul Hildebrand, but I must say him. And we also have here the woman who now owns or lives in the Villa Kutschera in Kladau, Doris Kaiser. Are you here still? Yeah? Well, good. So our legacy will hopefully be that friendship across cultures can overcome fear and hatred. Really, I thank you all.
Dear Jerry Kay, many, many thanks for this, and it's very moving.